Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about pickup routes on Veho. So one of the many different opportunities available on the Veho platform are the pickup routes, as opposed to that of a delivery route. It's a little backwards, but it does allow a certain amount of opportunity to those who are invited to the program. So with that said, I want to go over everything you must know about pickup routes, what they tell you versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult with qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything we're going to be going over in this video is very market dependent, and what applies to me and my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. What are pickup routes? Pickup routes are an exciting and innovative way to earn with Veho. Drivers can start routes from their residence, navigate directly to their first stop, pick up customer packages, then drop off at a local Veho facility. In my area, the same place you pick up at the warehouse is literally the same place you bring the packages you pick up. Are pickup routes available to everyone? Currently, pickup routes are available for select markets and drivers. Stay tuned for updates as we continue to grow this exciting service. And also, it's invite only. You have to be invited into the program and actually opt into it. You'll get an email about it, and they'll have an entire walkthrough and everything for you. What time should I arrive at my first stop? Best practice is to arrive at your first stop at the start time indicated on the route offer. For most routes, this will be 8 a.m. Now you see, this is actually one of the more frustrating things for me because they have you start a route at 8 a.m. on the dot, and they don't tell you what your first stop is until the route is started. However, they want you to actually start your route as soon as possible. This doesn't make sense to me. Where do I start my route? Pickup routes allow you to navigate directly to the first stop on the route instead of having to start at the warehouse. Exactly. You start at the first stop as opposed to starting at the warehouse. Where do I end my route? After completing all pickup stops, make your way to a Veho warehouse or conveniently located Veho storage drop-off station where you'll unload your vehicle. Actually speaking, down here in South Florida, they just closed down one of those conveniently located Veho storage drop-off locations, so assume it's gonna go to the warehouse. But again, everything's market to market, so you never really know. How do I pick up multiple packages from the same customer? You will occasionally encounter customers with more than one packages left outside. In order to avoid accidentally taking a recent delivery the customer is expecting, it's highly recommended to check the dates on the label and reach out to the customer for clarification. As always, support is able to help as well. When you complete a stop with more than one package, best practice is to provide the number of packages per stop. And most of the time, the customers will actually either write that it's a return on the package, or you will actually be handed to you. Like sometimes the customer will actually come down from their condo to bring it to you. But yeah, most times it's gonna be obvious. However, it's not like it doesn't happen where people have accidentally taken packages. It actually already happened down here. Somebody dropped off their Amazon package. The customer didn't leave their package outside yet, and somebody took the Amazon package by mistake, which is just too funny in my opinion. What if the customer's pickup isn't in a bag? Occasionally, customers will leave garments for you to pick up that aren't in a bag. To verify that the item is correct, best practice is to reach out to the customer for confirmation, then place it carefully in your vehicle for drop-off. I only had one customer have their garments not in a specific bag. I just put them into the bags they provide at Veho, and that's really all I needed to do. Now, before I go into my side notes, I do want to talk about the exact experience that I had doing the only pickup route that I was able to do. Unlike drop-off routes, they didn't have you have the opportunity to start the route 15 minutes early so you can actually get to the customer's first stop. No, you can only start the route at exactly 8 o'clock, which is ridiculous. ridiculous. It took me about 20 minutes for me to get to this customer's first stop, and then from there I was supposed to go to the next stop, but there was 2 stops in total. By the way, this is a half an hour route, and they're 20 minutes apart from each other in stops. Before you even go to start a route, you should actually have to pick up bags and QR code stickers from the Veho warehouse, and if you're invited to the pickup route program, you need to actually pick some of those up from the warehouse before starting a pickup route. So make sure you just have a bunch of them on hand, so you're not adding additional time where you don't have to. You put the return into the new bag, you put the sticker on the bag, you scan the QR code sticker that you put on the bag, you take a photo of the package you just created, and then you're ready to move on to your next stop, being the Veho warehouse. And then once you get to the Veho warehouse, you rescan the packages and you hand it to them. It's honestly really simple work, but there are a lot of logistical issues that they really need to fix up. If they advertise in their email that you could start the route directly from your home, they should account for the idea that the first stop is gonna be about 15 minutes away, so they should allow you to check in earlier than 8 o'clock. But they don't do that. And then if they do that, it's more than just half an hour's worth of driving, which they advertised on the one route that I did. It ended up taking me an hour to complete what was supposed to be a half an hour route. So they're really pushing the boundaries on the overall time you're actually committing to the route, which is honestly ridiculous. But that being said, I do have a couple of other side notes that I would like to go over on this subject. Customers are unreliable. So that Amazon story that I told you about, where the guy ended up taking somebody else's Amazon package by mistake, the customer was supposed to have the package out already, and apparently that was their third attempt to just pick up the package they said that they were going to want returned. It's supposed to be outside, ready for pickup, but instead there was a level of confusion because you accidentally took somebody else's package, and the package that was supposed to be returned wasn't there. So don't expect the customer to actually be reliable here. Don't compromise standards. So almost all the time on this channel, one of the things I constantly preach is having a dollars to mile ratio and understanding it. That being said, part of that means is that you gotta make sure that you're not compromising your standards for the sake of making a couple of extra bucks, you know? Don't drive 50 miles for 29 bucks. Income expectations. With pickup routes being so new right now, they are pretty small, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like an hour, half an hour, maybe an hour and a half's worth of actual work, and therefore they're going to be relatively short routes, which makes sense. However, they operate on the same standards as delivery routes. So the longer the route, the more money you're going to be paid, but your return on time will go down. So shorter routes are going to have a better ROT, even though that boundary is pushed, whereas a longer route also pushing those same boundaries are going to have a smaller ROT. Does that make sense? That being said, though, the return on time isn't bad. Like, $25 for half an hour's worth of work is still pretty solid. $29.10 for an hour is much worse return on time in comparison, but overall, it's still a solid income compared to some of the deliveries for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub, so not bad. Final verdict. I think it's not bad if you're trying to make some early morning money, like get those 8 a.m. routes in. That's actually a good way to go about it. It's not perfect, but what system is? I think once pickup routes become a little bit bigger, they'll be more valuable overall. But until then, deliveries will always have a better return in terms of amount you're going to make. Still not a bad opportunity to have available to you. Did I miss anything? Is there something else about pickup routes on Veho that I have yet to cover in this video? Let me know in the comments. Let's make sure that anybody and everybody knows anything and everything they must know in terms of pickup routes on Veho, so that way they can make the most amount of money in the least amount of time in the safest possible way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.